Good evening, VV Nation. My name is Ryan. Welcome to the channel. Happy Friday Eve. I know we're going into the holiday weekend, so I just want to give you some great stock picks to put on your radar as this rally continues. Now, we all know the MTI, that's our market timing indicator. If you don't have access to the software, you can get a trial 99-cent special right now through the holiday weekend. Now, the MTI is telling us that the market in overbought territory, right? So we can expect some chop, or we can expect this to be, the tail end of this rally. Who knows, right? But right now, all of our market timing signals are up. So I want to give you some great growth stocks going forward. We're going to jump into the VectorVest 7 software. I resorted the Nasdaq 100 watch list to give us this positions with the highest earnings growth rate going forward. So some great forecasted data to bring these stocks to even higher highs. So let's go ahead and jump in the software. Take a look at the stocks I want to show you this evening and see if any opportunities are presenting themselves. Now, if this is something that you're interested in, stick around and let's get started. As 4th of July approaches and we celebrate our nation's independence, let VectorVest help you with your financial independence. A trial just 99 cents over the next 30 days. Just go to vectorvest.com/YT. The special ends July 7th. Now we're in the VectorVest 7 software. Again, we're looking at the Nasdaq 100. Out of the 100 stocks here, these are the top 5 with the highest growth rate in earnings. This is forecasted earnings growth rate, GRT here, right? You can see DoorDash at the top of the list. I mean, look at the stocks in general here. DoorDash, NVIDIA, Micron, ARM, Illumina. Great list of stocks. You can see here, all double digits, all exceeding 30+% in earnings growth rate. Even when it comes to sales growth rate, double digits here, only one not meeting that expectation. That's going to be ILMN. You can see the enthusiasm still here in the Nasdaq 100. All of these stocks are in positive territory today. 2 out of the 5 are up over 1% here, while ARM just, lost that 1%. But you can see they're on the move as of this morning. Buy recommendations across the board. Now, I will say, not a lot of value in the space here. DoorDash, along with ARM Holdings and Illumina, these positions are in overvalued territory. However, NVIDIA and Micron giving you some options for the value players here. You can see NVIDIA, we value at 167, currently trading at 158, while Micron, while trading at 122, we value the position at 191. Fundamentally, looking at the RVRS, great candidates here. The only one, negative in both categories being ARM, so that's going to be a little bit of riskier of a choice here. Fundamentally not sound, or ILMN, which has a 0.73 of the safety, but we still get some long-term price appreciation potential when it comes to RV. Overall, RT relative timing, all the technicals seem to be in our favor right now. The short-term price trend, all these positions in favor of the bulls and showing some magnitude with some strong ratings here, giving these stocks VST ratings all above 1. The only room for concern here is the CI, which looks at the stock's ability to resist lengthy or severe price declines. 4 out of the 5 struggling to hit new highs. But as we can see here, DoorDash leading the charge of these positions when it comes to the CI rating. Now let's jump in the charts and see if there's any potential to be made or any trade setups in the near future. First up, we've got DoorDash. The stock we can see is overvalued. The green line here represents our valuation. Stock has been overvalued. What I do like about it, though, is from a technical standpoint. In the forecasted data, I can see why investors are willing to pay a premium. We see earnings growth rate on the rise. Sales growth rate, even though it faltered, still sitting at 21%. Forecasted earnings per share on the rise. RT above 1 and gaining traction, showing momentum is still climbing for the bulls. Now, as far as price action here, we're seeing a little bit of a pullback. I'd like to see, support or price action ultimately stay above this 231, but if we get a retest around this level, we got the 20-day EMA as well. Look for the pivot there. If we break that area, I see the consolidation zone from around 221 to 515 on the low end here. So if price action breaks much below this consolidation zone, then I would get more bearish and defensive on this position. But the buy rating stands as of now, so if it drops to hold rating, that's going to be our first inclination of weakness when it comes to DoorDash. I've been talking about NVIDIA for quite a while now since it broke out of that descending channel. You can see price action on the rise with valuation as well rising. That is my favorite chart pattern with a nice strong buy rating. I can see why investors are enthused of this position, and it's undervalued. However, growth rate earnings is faltering. Sales growth rate also faltering, but coming in at some of the highest numbers in the database here. Growth rate and earnings, 38%. Sales growth rate outpacing it, which is a good sign, at 69%. Rising forecasted earnings per share, RT in favorable territory. I'm still going to be bullish on this position, and you can see the bulls taking charge today with a full-body candlestick trading at session highs. Micron, another great semiconductor to have on your radar here, and the entry position just occurring as of now with value on the rise, price action on the rise, strong buy rating. This was the pullback I was waiting for here, right on this pivot zone, this 20-day EMA. I've been talking about this for a while. We got the buying pressure. It looks like we got follow through to the upside. If you want more confirmation, you can take out the prior high, but as of right now, it looks like a pretty good dip to buy. Growth rate, earnings on the rise, forecasted earnings on the rise. Sales growth rate did drop a little bit, but still both 37% respectively. And I see a nice trade setup occurring as we speak, so I wanted to put this one on your radar as well. Here we've got ARM Holdings, another similar situation to Micron. Nice pivot off this level I had here around 152. It's staying above. A little weakness today. We might break through this 152 level. Look for support. Look for a pivot around the 20-day EMA. Otherwise, I do want you to know this position is overvalued by our standards. We only value the company at $42. Growth rate and earnings on the decline. Sales growth rate is rising. However, EPS also on the decline here. But the numbers, respectively, great numbers here. 30%, 34% respectively. And with a nice strong buy rating, again, I can see why the bulls are taking charge of ARM. But to make things simple, let's just use a trend line here. You can see the trend line coming in right at that 20-day EMA and my key level here. So I'd like to see a strong pivot around this zone. Once we get confirmation of that pivot, this position could take off to take out this prior high. Here's a nice bottom fishing candidate with some confirmation already in line. You can see the sell-off occurring, sell recommendation, but look at the buy recommendation just occurring a few weeks ago. Occurring on the 10th of June, you can see the close that day, $87. Price action still on the rise, momentum to the upside above the 20-day EMA. The forecasted data is mixed. We see that the sales growth rate and the earnings per share kind of faltering. Sales growth rate coming in at -3 here. Now, as far as a technicals perspective, I do see some gappiness to about 122 here. If we get some rejection, that means the short-term traders are giving up on this gap fill. Otherwise, if we get in this zone here, the target price will be 122 to fill the gap. I just want to see price action stay above the 20-day EMA to make sure this momentum continues. Now, I hope everyone enjoyed these picks. There were some great candidates here, some great trade setups in the making on these positions. Again, these were the top growth stocks in the Nasdaq 100. Now, everybody, enjoy your weekend. Have a great 4th of July. And don't forget, if you enjoyed tonight's content, if you learned something here, hit that like button. If you're new, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you next week. Yeah.